So my name is Dominic Jeremiah. I'm the principal of Presentation College Grenada. I just want to take this opportunity on behalf of the Caribbean Association of Principals of Secondary School, through our local affiliate, the Grenada Association of Principals of Secondary School, to welcome everyone to this training webinar for teachers, not only in Grenada, but throughout the region. As you're aware, this time has not necessarily been the easiest period in our history, where educators have been charged with the responsibility of moving from the comfortable face-to-face interaction with students to remote teaching and learning. And the Caribbean Association of Principals of Secondary School thought it was prudent to find creative ways to support and encourage our teachers as they make this transition from face-to-face to online teaching and learning. So it is from this backdrop that these webinars have been organized. So I want to take this opportunity to welcome everybody. I want you to take full advantage of this opportunity that we have through our collaboration with RSC. RSC is the official technological partner with the Caribbean Association of Principals of Secondary School. They have been doing a wonderful job throughout the entire Caribbean, supporting educators and supporting the goal of trying to assist us in empowering all our educators across the region to be the best that they can be. So with these few words, I want to thank you for registering and joining, and I hope you will continue to do so in the weeks ahead. Thank you, and also thanks to Iris.
So as we know, the course will entail how do we work and teach remotely, and Dominic Jeremiah was talking about this. The course will consist of 4 sessions, and you do not need to do all the sessions. They are all independent. Well, you should do all, but they are all independent. So in case you miss one, attending the other session doesn't really depend on that. Correct. And sessions will be done on a weekly basis, same time, same day on a Wednesday at 2 o'clock. And for those of you who happen to miss one of the sessions, there will be replays that you could catch at your convenience.
Correct. The replays will be up by the next day. You'll get a link. It's going to be a separate link for the replay, and it's going to be available 24/7. Okay. So let's look at the individual sessions now.
Good. So for session 1, we are looking at the whole concept of remote teaching and how to build your content to do your classes and presentations. So apart from the content and the concept, of course, there will be some concerns and some requirements for teaching online. It is so different to teaching face-to-face. Of course, we will also be going through the 3 pillars of successful online teaching, and definitely learning how to build content using tools like PowerPoint, Screencastify, and Screencast-O-Matic.
All right. Now, not all of these tools we'll be able to do today in day 1, but definitely tools like PowerPoint, Screencastify, Screencast-O-Matic. Kevin will post some links on the chat so you can go on and get some additional information on it. Session 2.
Session 2, we'll learn how to actually do a live presentation, because this is what remote teaching is all about. So what is our live presentation? How do we actually go about doing it? And what are some of the different platforms we can use? How do we set up and manage our live sessions and presentations? And we'll be focusing on the Zoom platform. Right. And definitely, because we have had so many issues with security or lack of security when it comes to Zoom recently, the focus will also be on security. Definitely, we'll be going through how to use the external whiteboard to enhance your sessions, and some more tips and tricks that could make your sessions your presentations more successful.
All right, so session 2 right now is scheduled for next week Wednesday. That's going to be 2 p.m. next week Wednesday. Session 3.
Session 3 will deal with how do we make our session interactive and how do we do assessments online. So we'll be in terms of making our class interactive, We'll be looking at tools like Mentimeter, Flipgrid, and Padlet.
And bear in mind, again, Kevin is going to put links for all of these so you could do some pre-work in between.
And when it comes to assessments, we'll be looking at FlexiQuiz, Google Forms, and LMS platforms.
Correct. Session 3 will be scheduled for the week after Wednesday at 2 p.m.
Okay, and then session 4, we'll be going into a little more detail on LMS platform and understanding the functions of LMS. We'll be comparing a couple of the well-known platforms like Edmodo, Google Classroom, and Moodle, and we will be given an overview of one of the examples. Also, we'll be looking at doing a wrap-up in session 4 as well, telling you how we could continue with being more engaged in the future.
Right.
How do we back up? How do we name our sessions? And of course, collaboration, continuously collaborating with Caribbean Association of Principals of Secondary Schools. And when all of us collaborate, then we could, take our sessions to our next level.
The key thing about collaboration is that it's one of the key things for us to not just recover from the situation we're in, but for us to be way ahead of the game. One of the things about RSC is we are trying to develop the people, I'm going to say in the Caribbean, but I just got some messages on the chat here saying we're from South Africa. Welcome, South Africa. But the thing is, if we collaborate as teachers, instead of each person, instead of each school, instead of each country reinventing the wheel using limited resources, collaboration of resources, collaboration and everything else is going to, at the end of the day, it's all going to be a winner for us.
Definitely. And I know somebody put up on the chat, they were asking about certification. There'll definitely be a certificate at the end of the sessions. The requirements are 75% attendance. Of course, that's 3 out of 4 sessions. And please remember that you could catch the replay of the sessions as well. So the 75% attendance could include live sessions as well as replays. And of course, another prerequisite for getting a certificate is completing the feedback form at the end of each session.
We're talking about working and teaching remotely. And the reality of this situation is for a number of us who are teachers, a number of teachers, a while back, this was our comfort environment. We were in the classroom, we had our students there, they could see us, they could hear us, they could smell us, they could feel our energy. It was a controlled environment. Some of us has been planning a while back, but all of a sudden, whether we like it or not, we were thrown into a working and teaching remote environment. And this is a totally different environment for a lot of us. And the key thing is, whilst we are going to be reactive in terms of how to deal with this situation, what we are promoting is, even though we need to find fast solutions, ensure that the solutions we are finding when the situation allows us to be back to, but we'll never be normal, but back to as normal as possible, we should be ahead of the game as far as our capacity build and in terms of what we are doing to move forward. So all of a sudden, as teachers, our world has changed. We are now forced to become, I can't say digital citizens, we're out of age for that, but to be able to work with the tools. And with it comes issue, capacity building, both in terms of ourselves, in terms of knowledge and tech skills, but don't forget capacity building in terms of our students also, because sometimes teachers go straight into remote learning, not realizing that whilst the students are digital citizens, they might not be totally familiar with the environment that you have chosen. And what is even worse, if there's not enough collaboration, even within one ecosystem like a school, a lot of people are using different tools, which makes it even more difficult for the student. And capacity also, looking at devices. What about us as teachers? Do we have the devices that we need to use, or is it a shared device? How many families are sharing devices with 2 and 3 kids, and a husband working home and a wife working from home, and we have to share devices? So it's something we need to keep in mind. Then there are situations where students just don't have devices. Then of course you have connectivity, and not just connectivity for just being able to have connectivity, but to be able to have the kind of connectivity that's required for classes. I'm not saying we could solve any of these issues, but what I'm saying is that all of these are real issues that has to be dealt with. But beyond dealing with these issues, what we are focusing on at RSC is building the capacity and the software tools that we need to use. And I'm saying tools because it's more than just one tool. It's not a one cut fit all. And by building capacity in these tools, we now can once these things overcome in terms of devices and connectivity and so on, we can be functional. But then as a remote class, We can't take our normal classroom operation and run it over the internet and think that's how it's going to work. It's not going to work like that. How can we make our class engaging? When your students are in a classroom environment and you have a timetable and you have a principal and a vice principal and everything else, you can force them to be engaged. When they're home, how on earth are you going to ensure that your class is engaging? One of the issues, we've been polling teachers in the region right now to find out what's the responses like in the classes you're teaching. And in some scenarios, it's as low as 5% where students are not responding. In some scenarios, is excellent. We've had teachers that are setting 95%. Of course, examination students, exam classes are higher. But what can we do to make it engaging? What can we do to make it interactive? What can we do for assessment, which is a big one? How do I perform both formative and summative assessments with our students? And then, of course, how on earth can I manage this? Manage it as a classroom, yes, but manage it as a human being. If you do not manage your online tools properly, what's going to happen is you could end up pulling your hair out because it's going to be a stream of information flow coming from WhatsApp and internet. And because you're home and you're online, the ministry or the principal or the student expect that you are now serving 24/7, but you have a life too. So when you're planning online teaching, it should be planned in such a way that you cater for all of these things. And that's what we're going to speak to in some of these sessions today. So let's putting that into perspective, let's go back a bit. As a teacher, and these are some of the pillars Sugan was speaking about. As a teacher, everything that drives our knowledge flow from ourselves to our students is based on the first pillar, the pillar of content. And when we go virtual, again, that pillar of content is the most important thing you got to deal with. And content, now, depending on the environment you deal with, how you present your content is the next pillar, your presentation tool. In a classroom environment, you prepare your content. However, if you're teaching for years, you probably have a lot of content in your head. You stand up in front of a whiteboard or blackboard, or maybe even use a presentation, and that's how you'll present. And you're in a classroom, and your students are there with you. In a virtual environment, the pillars are the same, except how we go about doing it is not going to change, because content, we understand, drives everything. A lot of time people want to go into virtual, and all the first thing they focus on is what platform I'm using. Should I use Moodle or Edmodo? Or all of these are great and it's a necessary tool. But before you get there, one of the first things you got to look at is content. Your content drives the quality of your presentation, and your presentation is what drives the quality of what is happening with respect to your classroom and the students. So you have your content, you have your presentation, and of course, you have your students. In a virtual environment, we are now replacing the students with what? With a platform. And with this platform, what's going to happen now? Your students really is interacting with your platform. And this in mind, what it does, whilst it would allow a whole bunch of a larger spectrum in terms of what we can teach, there's this disconnect that can happen because when and how these students dealing with the platform, we don't have that much control of it. So let's look at taking this to the next level. So we have content, we have presentation, and we have platform. With respect to content now, some of you all are already teaching online. At the lowest level of the spectrum, if we got to send content from us to a student, it could be a Word file, PDF file, something you scribble on a piece of paper and you take a picture of it. So at the lowest level, I'm not promoting none of the above. I'm just saying these are the entry-level possibilities. So you have a document. You need to get this document now. So your presentation is really a document. How you prepare a document, we'll deal with that after. And then how you're going to get this document onto the students. Either you could do it individually. So you're doing it through an email, you're doing it through WhatsApp, or maybe your school or your ecosystem has a platform, a general platform that is being used. People who are using WhatsApp and email to monitor and manage your classes, hats off to you, because that is taking a lot of time with respect to managing the classes, but it's great. It's a good start. Beyond that now, a basic document, which is what we're going to focus on today, is how could you make your content more presentable? And today we're going to focus on using things like PowerPoint and so on and things like that. And then of course you can add audio to it, and you can also add video to it. The key thing is, if we can enhance our content to a certain level, yes, it's going to take some time. It's going to take more time to prepare. But here's the thing. Once you prepare this once, class after class, year after year, this content is going to be made available to you. And not all the content you have to develop yourself, because there are literally tons and tons and tons of open source content that is available. Sometimes don't get caught up searching for content, because you can take days finding the appropriate content for yourself. But we'll deal with that. So once you have as presentation, documents, audio, video, the same environment will still work, whether you're using email, whether you're using WhatsApp, whether you're using a school system. And then, of course, we're going to be dealing with some simulation. Simulation is a powerful tool. We're going to deal with how to make it interactive, and then how to do assessments. All of that coming in terms of developing content. So the key thing really, how we're going to structure this course is, the first session today, we're going to focus on content. The second session, we're going to add some top up to the content with Screencastify and Screencast-O-Matic and so on, and then deal with presentation. And then we're going to wrap up by the fourth session in terms of the platform itself. So content could be Word, PDF, PowerPoint, video, simulations, whatever. Your presentation, which we'll deal with separately, and your platform. It's super important, if you're going to be successful as an online teacher, at least some of each of these you need to be able to master. And mastering is not going to happen overnight. It's going to come with practice, and it's going to come with practice, and it's going to come with practice. So things like software tools will be Office, if that's what you're using. It don't have to be, it could be Google, Office, whatever. Screencastify, you'll hear me mention this a number of times. It's a free tool that we have it promoting right now. Things like Mentimeter. Mentimeter is what you just went in and did the poll that Kevin set up in terms of where you put your answers, in terms of your expectation. FlexiQuiz is a fantastic tool. There are a number of different options like FlexiQuiz, but FlexiQuiz is what we use for our current CSEC website. We're doing a lot of support for students writing this July, August, or whenever exam, where they could come in and do quizzes, and they're going to get self-answered and support. But of course, most of you are perhaps familiar with Google Forms. In our presentation mode, lots of examples available. We have Zoom, Google, Microsoft Meet, WebEx, whatever. Most of them are basically the same in terms of the features they can offer. Some has better structure in terms of platform and bandwidth. I use Zoom a lot. That's my comfort zone. So that's what we'll talk about. Of course, we'll talk about others. A lot of people right now don't understand the security controls in Zoom. So when we're doing that session, we're really going to go to tongue on that. So a lot of the issues you're probably reading about or hearing about where Zoom has this issue, that can be dealt with because Zoom has enough security. And of course, the platform is like Google Classroom, Moodle, Edmodo, or your ministry might have something, because I know in Grenada you all have MStar. So the key thing is, what is effective content for remote, what tools to use, and how to be interactive is what we're going to talk about. And I'm going to go into some demonstration details. All right, so the tool I'm going to look at first is PowerPoint. Almost everybody here should have an idea of PowerPoint. If not, I'm going to do a quick poll on that just now. So in terms of PowerPoint as a tool, the things that we really need to do initially is basic slides and animation. I want to say basic slides. Far too often I've seen presenters put up a PowerPoint slide and it is very, very congested. A PowerPoint slide should not be congested. Remember when Kevin did the poll, how many people you saw using phones? When you have a congested slide and a student is trying to listen to you on a phone, it makes it almost impossible for them to even try and follow what you're doing or where you are doing what you're doing. Basic animation, we'll talk about that just some, but that's almost a must when you're doing a PowerPoint slide. In addition to that, embedding audio and video. Remember in remote teaching, one of the key things you're dealing with is these students are looking at a screen, or whoever you're dealing with, they're looking at a screen. And if all they got to do is listen to you talk for a long time, you're going to lose them because, I mean, it's young people, you're dealing with kids. So embedding video and audio, we'll talk about a bit. And then, of course, we're going to quickly show you how to record a slideshow and take your lesson and make it into a video. Very simple, without you having any big set of skill set in producing videos. Producing videos in PowerPoint is super easy. We're going to show you that quickly. And then, of course, the kids are accustomed to you. The children are accustomed to you. So it's really nice if when you're sending out lessons, do a voiceover. Let them hear your voice. If you're not comfortable with your image and your video on it, you don't need to do that in the beginning, but at least let them hear your voice. So what we're going to do is, I want to get a quick feedback. Kev, you can have me bring up a poll here. Quick feedback on the one with PowerPoint.
Yeah,
we're going to put up a poll, and you will go dog on it yet. And when you click on it, it's going to be something like this is going to come up. And I'm demonstrating interactivity here. In Mentimeter, you'll see some slider bars that's going to ask you 4 questions. I think it is on PowerPoint. Basic slide animation. Can you handle that? The slider bar, what you're doing, and if I just bring it up to show you here, all you do is you click on the slider bar and you can drag it. So you can drag your slider bar across to let them know what your level is. 1 is the lowest, 5 is the highest, right?
Ready?
Let's go to Mentimeter. And so if I have an idea what's the crowd, what you are right now in terms of your level, I know what to focus on a bit. Kev, all yours.
Right. So the poll has been, I just published the poll again.
Right.
You'll see on the screen, you should see an offer. Just say, and it says click here. Go ahead and click. Okay, great. So these are the results from the Mentimeter. So you could see PowerPoint skills back, so you'll be able to get your certificates. Right. So results are in so far. I'm going to remove the offer now.
Right. Kev, before you do that,
Sure.
so most of you, if you're hearing me, come back into your main room, into Webinar Jam. And what I'm going to do is just show you the power of Mentimeter, because we use Mentimeter here as a tool. So if you notice, on the bottom right, you're seeing the number 403. That's telling us 400, and it's going up. 404 people answered, actually responded. The rest of you all did not respond. If you did not respond, it means either 1, you just didn't feel like it, or 2, you couldn't find it, or you wasn't sure what to do, or maybe you responded and you didn't submit. The numbers keep going on. But what I want to show you is, as I hover the mouse over the questions, we can have an idea where the responses are. So if I go over basic slide animation, you're going to see 98 people put a 0 for that, which is a pretty high number. 75 and 78 and 54 sort of in between increasing. And 105 people say, hey, they're 5 on that. They're really great on that. Embedding video, it's like 150 said, 0 on that. 210 on recording the slideshow, and of course 235. I'm looking at the zeros in terms of personal voiceover. So when you're using Mentimeter as a tool, which is we'll do a lot of that in session 2. When you're using Mentimeter as a tool in session 2, what we'll be doing is teaching how to use this tool so that you can make your session as interactive as possible. Some basic, very fast thing to PowerPoint, and then I'm going to give you a demonstration. So what you're seeing here is a basic, normal, everyday screen. First thing I did is show you that, look, branding is important, and keeping your screen as bland as possible is important. So no heavy background and things. These are preferences, not because I say so should be so, your own style, but just not keep it crowded. In PowerPoint itself, through demonstration, I'm just going to show you what's possible. So let's say I wanted to just very simply insert a text box, right? So I'm going to say 2 plus 2 equal 4, right? So it's a simple text box there. And I'll make it really big so everybody could see it. All right, so we are saying 2 plus 2 equal 4, as big in a text box. And what you want to do is be able to develop some simple video using this, right? So let me just put 2 plus 2 equal, let me make it a little more difficult. 2x plus 2 is equal to 4. What is x, right? So if what I had is a simple question, 2x plus 2 equal 4, find x, and I wanted to teach kids this and do a presentation of it, the first step I will need to probably do is to be able to develop all the points in my slides. So I'll have that first, 2x plus 2 equal 4 minus, this is not a math class, so if there's anything off with it, please forgive that. And then, so step 1 is we are just developing our content. And then what we're going to do after we develop the content is show you how to quickly make a video with it. Kevin, is the math correct there?
That's kind of a good one.
Yes, a good one, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm going with yeah.
You're going with
So
yeah,
a
right?
comment, quick comment. Someone is saying that the multiplication could be mistaken for x. That's just
All right, so that's an excellent.
Yeah, that's just a thought for you.
Mm-hmm. So that's an excellent comment, because what I could have done there, but I just didn't want it to complicate things, is put the x as a normal, as a not a multiplication sign, but as a x, right? Which could be done.
Yeah.
Right. So, but good point. But I'm just bypassing that for now, right? So let me get that out.
Yeah. So I'm just talking over you. Yeah, and you could use whatever font that you want to use in PowerPoint to make it. Remember, this is a quick and dirty. So whatever however you feel to make it more appealing or more clear to the students, you go ahead and do that. Use different fonts, use different colors if you choose.
Correct. Yeah. All right. So basically, what I want to focus on is just to be able to show you how to quickly animate this. So step one, what we'll do is we'll create animation across each one of these. So I'll just highlight everything, go to animation, click on animation pane, and simply allow these things to appear. All right. So step one is I just created some simple animation. So if I run this as a slideshow, I'll just have everything here happening with a click, and I'm going pretty fast, but this is the part most people said they can handle. So if we're running this as an animation, you'll see 2x plus 2 equals 4, 2x equals 4 minus 2, 2x equals 2, x equals 1. So that is how the order will run once you animate it. What I really want to do is to show you how to create a video. So the first part of this is straightforward. I'm not spending time on that. I want to show you how to create a video and how to put your voiceover on it. So up on slideshow, you will see record slideshow. So you're going to see record slideshow. All right, so that's up here. And record slideshow is what we're going to click to be able to do the recordings. So if we click on record slideshow, and we could start the recording from the beginning. This would then allow us to record our slideshow. So it is asking me if to do a narration also on our slide. So we click on start recording. And everything I say now will be recorded. So as I click, I could say the question is 2x plus 2 equals 4. If we take the 2 and move it across the equal sign, we will have 2x is equal to 4 minus 2, which means 2x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 1. And once I'm finished, I can stop. And what I would have created there is an animated PowerPoint that's almost ready to become a video. If I should play this, it will play as almost a video. It's going to play as a slideshow. Will be recorded. So as I click, I can say the question is 2x plus 2 equals 4. If we take the 2 and move it across the equal sign, we will have 2x is equal to. So I'm not going to play the entire thing. That was just to demonstrate to you. If you take animations, and I'm going to do it over again so that you'll see what is happening here. You go up to record slideshow. And once you click here on record slideshow, so this is what you're clicking on, record slideshow. You can record your slideshow with the timing that you choose, and you're almost there to make a video. So you can record a slideshow and you're almost there to make a video. So are we all good on that? So once you record that, you're on a slideshow, you're almost there to make the video. The next step is, how do you convert this to an actual video? So we're going to take these slides off here, take all of them. These are unnecessary slides on this side. We're going to convert this now into a video. We're all good so far, right, Kev?
Yeah, you're looking okay.
So file, and if you look at here, you'll see export. So what you want to do is File, Export. So we're going to export that file. Once you export that file, you can export it as whatever file type that you want. So we're going to export this file, and obviously what you want to export it as, and you want to create a video. So once you click on create video, this now is going to be saved as an MP4 file, as a video. So let's look at a sample lesson. Today we are going to look at right angle triangles. A triangle by definition will have 1, 2, 3 sides. In a right angle triangle, one of the angles must be 90 degrees. So one of the angles must be 90 degrees. The line at the bottom is referred to as the base. On the side going up, the height. And the line that is opposite to the right angle is referred to as the hypotenuse. So we are looking at the right angle triangle, where in this diagram the right angle is at C. So it's a right triangle at C. But bear in mind your right angle can be anywhere, so we can move angle A across, and now there's a right angle triangle with the angle at B. And similarly, it could have been done where the right angle triangle can be such that the angle is at A. So here's a right angle triangle where the angle is at A. Interesting enough, if two of the sides are equal, it is a right angle triangle still, but is now also an isosceles triangle. So here you have an isosceles triangle that's a right angle triangle at angle A. So what you would have seen there is just an example of a simple class using PowerPoint and what animation can do. I'm not saying build to that level, but at least if we get the basics going, for those who really want to do some more in terms of how to really get into building a class like that, that took like about 10, 15 minutes, maybe a little more. That could be done. That's the power of PowerPoint. Any quick questions? I'm going to show you the PowerPoint that created that video. So I'm actually going to run that PowerPoint for you and show you exactly what we did to run that video. Okay, excellent. So one of the first things I did is to just ensure that it's a blank, and in my case we use Brandon, right? So we just put a little RSC there, and it's just totally blank. And the next step, really, what you would have seen is we did a triangle, right? Now, once you do a copy and paste on a triangle, so this is what we did. Forget the word transparent here. That was just to tell me what to do. Once we pull a picture from online, sometimes the picture is going to come like this, right? So it's a big white blotchy thing, and it's not really going to go with the diagram. And this is so easy to deal with, because if you notice up on the top here, may or may not see it, you're seeing picture tools. You probably didn't see picture tools there. And if you click on picture tools, right, so we're going to picture tools format. And if you click on picture tools, all the way up on this side, you'll be seeing color. So if you drop down on color, there is the option to go transparent. So once you click color, the system is moving pretty slow. I could get it transparent, and once I click on the picture now becomes transparent. So a lot of times you will pull pictures from online. I'm heavily promoting, if you pull in pictures from online, make sure it's royalty free. You put in, and initially what would have happened, it was looking like that, and just by making the background transparent, you can get it like that. So that was the first step. So then we ended up with a triangle. Now, what I did after that is I wanted the triangle to appear as if it's drawing, right? So if you remember, what we had is, it looks something like this, right? So I wanted to appear as if the triangle is drawing. So all I did is I put a shape in front of the line. So I just blocked the line out, and then I left the outer line so you could see what I'm doing, but I took that off. So all I did is cover the lines, and then in animation, if you could see the animation pane on the side here, you'd have seen what I did is the shape itself, we made the shape disappear. The first one, the second one, and the third one. So we just had the shapes disappear. And by making the shapes disappear, so when you look at it, when you take out the outlines, it's there. Let me see if I can highlight it and show you. It's there, but because everything is the same color, it appears as if it's not there. And if I run it, what happens is the first shape disappears, so it makes the line appear. Second shape disappear, third shape disappear. So it's pretty straightforward. The next step and there on after was all the same technique. So what we did, if you look at this here, you'll see this is just a shape put in there and I write in 90 degrees. And then below there, another shape again, just put in place and we write the word base. Again, if you look, everything here is just animated. So what we had is the connector coming in, the text box 90 degrees coming in, and the different text box and the different arrows. So these here just allowed this particular slide to first bring in so on and so on. And once you continue to build, you now have exactly what you want. This here is a motion, and this motion simply would allow we took the arrow and we had it just move downwards, of course at an angle. So once you have completed that, really you would have created the animation and then you can voice over it. So we're going to teach today on right angle triangle. A right angle triangle must have at least one angle, but not at least an angle that's 90 degrees. The line at the bottom is called the base, blah, 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 blah. And you can now have your animation. So really it's just this one slide that I'll create a video of. So doing the same thing on the top, record slideshow, click record slideshow, start recording, and then everything will just record like we did before. If I start recording this, and each time I click on something, the animation will appear, and then we could go ahead and just record the entire video. Once we are finished, same thing again. We go all the way to the top left, click on file. Once you click on file, you move down and you go to export. Now, I saw in the chat some people were saying they're not seeing the record slideshow on the top, or they're not seeing the export button and so on and so on. Perhaps it's the version, but that is something you can just go ahead and message us or WhatsApp us, and we'll be able to offer you some tech support there. So that was just a quick, fast demonstration showing you how easy it is to develop content. Now, in the beginning, is this kind of time consuming? Yes, it's going to be time consuming. I'm not saying to develop content at a mass amount with all of these animations and so on. What I'm saying is if we get your skill level up to there, then animating at lower levels and just putting stuff on the screen is going to be second nature. You could never have a capacity at the same level you want to function. We must always build our capacity, and we function in like at about 60%. So let's build our capacity in terms of animating stuff. And then when you have to do simple slides and everything, it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. I'll share again, just want to show you that it's really easy also to import videos, import audio. You could put in pictures, you could put in videos, or you could put in simulations. Kev, just help me with questions here now.
Yeah, so just the questions should come coming in soon. Give them a few seconds. Sound issues, just restart. Someone's asking when they could get the replay. Check 24 hours from now. Yeah.
All right. So if you're having any kind of issues, sound or whatever, most likely it's on your side, because I also have a device that I'm listening on as an attendee, and so far it seems to be working.
Yeah,
any other questions?
No, just questions on the replay.
All right, cool.
I don't see anything.
Yeah. Okay, good. So what we're looking at is in PowerPoint itself. PowerPoint also has a screen capture feature. I don't know if you all are aware of that, but PowerPoint has a screen capture feature that could allow you to just not bring in videos and audio and so on, but to actually capture what is happening in your screen. So let me do a next share screen here. Right. So I'm going to look at some PowerPoint features that a lot of people just not aware exist, right? So The insert button, which is like your magic button that allows you a whole bunch of stuff, your insert button. Once you click the insert button, there are a number of options on the right-hand side that really a lot of people just, guess they don't use or take advantage of. So you see across here, you can insert a video, you can insert audio, or you can do screen capture. If you have stuff on the screen, whatever it might be, and in session 2 we're going to go to tongue on that, you can just click screen recording, and PowerPoint allows you to record whatever, not just within the PowerPoint environment, but you can record stuff that's happening anywhere. So if you saw a video, someone, you want to record part of it, or you have a piece of lesson, you can use screen recording. So bottom line is PowerPoint, it is a powerful tool. It's a tool that's going to allow us to do a lot of stuff. And yes, small learning curve in the beginning to just get the hang of it and to see what's happening. And then from there onwards, content building could happen. Now, once you build the content, remember in the next class, we're going to teach you now how to take this content and get it interactive, because you want your students participating with you. And then after that, we're going to show how to put it on a platform, because not necessarily when you are teaching, your students are available. So that's another factor which you're going to talk about where the platform is going to come in place. Now, Ms. Spain is asking me to repeat, but I'm not sure repeat which part. Kev, I got your message that Mr. Mutu, the president of CAPS, is in on the call with us. So Mr. Mutu, if you could raise your hand, that's going to be really great. So let's take some wrap-up questions here now.
Right, so great. So we have from Karel. Yeah, she's asking to how to use pictures in the slideshows as well.
Okay, so use pictures is just as an insert. Let me just bring it back up. Share screen, application window, right? Pictures and audience on they're all the same thing. It's just insert, right? So if you look on the left side of PowerPoint, you could, no, let's not do that. Erase that. Let's go with insert would allow you to insert tables, pictures. You can pull stuff from online. You can do a screenshot. You can insert shapes, smart art, charts, and a whole bunch of other things that you could insert, including someone earlier spoke about the symbol X that were being used. You could. One thing a lot of people didn't realize is that you can do full equations, mathematical equations, and everything else in PowerPoint to get it look as it should. So pictures, you just insert from here. You can insert a picture both from your computer device or you could insert it from online. I don't know if that answered the question.
Yeah, and same person asked with audio, which I guess is the same thing. Once you have those audio files with you, it's easy to insert it into PowerPoint.
Fellow educators, we have with us the president of the Caribbean Association of Principals, Mr. Ronald Mutu. This entire initiative is a collaborative initiative with the Caribbean Association of Principals and RSC. We're not going to see him, but if you could just bring us brief greetings, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. And it's such a pleasure to sit here and listen to you, Raj, instructing us. Let me say on behalf of all educators all over the Caribbean, thank you very much to RSC International for providing us with this resource. Many of us, of course, couldn't have access online resources, except, of course, provided by you, now in association with CAPS. So let me say to everyone who are tuned in, when I came on, we had over 600 participants. So let me say thank you very much to everyone who have participated, who have logged on. I'm seeing a few familiar names here. And just to say to you, continue. It's a lot of hard work in the beginning, as Mr. Ramdas indicated. And let me say once again, congratulations to the RSC team. I'm seeing Kevin, I'm seeing Sugan, I'm seeing Raj, and of course, congratulations and of course, happy learning, I should say, to all of the participants. Thank you very much, Raj.
Okay, excellent. To answer the question, thank you very much, Ronald. Without CAPS, the kind of diverse type of participation we're getting here is not going to be possible. So thank you, CAPS. So then it's just going to wrap up here. And on behalf of RSC, Raj Hassan, really great to have you all and looking forward to the next session next week, Wednesday at 2 p.m.
Okay, great. So thank you all for joining us today. And of course, thanks to Mr. Dominic Jeremiah as well, the President of the Principals Association of Grenada, for providing this forum today for the webinar. And of course, as Raj said, see you all next week, same day, same time, Wednesday, 2 o'clock.